The letters beneath the oak tree. Once upon a time, in a quiet countryside village nestled between rolling hills and whispering woods, lived a young woman named Alara. She was a schoolteacher, known for her kind heart and a smile that could brighten even the gloomiest days. Every morning, she walked through the village square, waving at shopkeepers and children, always with a book in her hand and a dreamy look in her eyes. A few miles away, in a small cottage at the edge of the forest, lived a man named Aidan. He was a carpenter, quiet, thoughtful, and deeply connected to the rhythms of the land. He loved creating beautiful things from wood, chairs that creaked like laughter, tables that carried generations of meals, and tiny music boxes that sang lullabies. Alara and Aidan had crossed paths many times, exchanged shy greetings, but never truly spoken. Still, there was something unspoken between them, an invisible thread, gentle yet unbreakable. One day, Alara discovered an old oak tree in the woods, its branches like arms reaching for the sky. At its base, she found a wooden box, carved delicately with the initials AW inside it were letters, love letters. But they weren't addressed to anyone. They spoke of longing, of dreams, of a love that had never been confessed. Moved by the words, Alara decided to write back. She left her letter in the box, signed only with an E. Days passed, then weeks. One morning, she returned to the tree and found a reply. And so began a secret exchange. With each letter, they shared their fears, their hopes, their childhood memories, and quiet moments of joy. Though they never signed their full names, something magical unfolded in the space between words, something deeper than spoken conversations. As winter melted into spring, the letters grew more intimate. Alara would smile for hours after reading his words. Aidan, though he didn't know who she was, felt her spirit in every sentence. One rainy afternoon, a letter in the box read, "I think I know who you are, and if I'm right, you carry sunlight in your laugh. I'll be under the oak tree on the first day of May. If you feel the same, meet me there." May arrived, wrapped in soft blossoms and the scent of renewal. Alara wore a simple white dress and clutched the last letter to her chest. Her heart thudded like thunder in her chest as she approached the tree. There, beneath the branches, stood Aidan, holding a wooden music box that played a melody he had carved just for her. They didn't need words. Their eyes held everything, the memories, the laughter, the letters, the love. From that day on, the oak tree stood witness to their story. They returned to it every year, leaving letters for each other, even when they lived together, even after they were old and gray. Because some loves begin in silence, grow through written words, and bloom in the space between heartbeats. Letters in the Wind. In a quiet village nestled among rolling hills, Emily, a young schoolteacher, spent her days teaching children and her evenings writing letters to soldiers overseas. One day, she received a reply from a soldier named Jack, stationed far from home. His words were thoughtful, his stories full of courage and longing. They continued writing for months, sharing dreams, fears, and fragments of their lives. Through ink and paper, a bond grew. Emily would read Jack's letters aloud to herself under the old oak tree behind the school, her heart quietly hoping. One spring afternoon, just as cherry blossoms began to fall, Jack appeared at the school gate, dusty boots, a shy smile, and a small bouquet of wildflowers in hand. "I couldn't wait any longer," he said softly. "I had to meet the woman whose words kept me alive." And in that moment, the world stood still.